So what এটার নাম কি হতে পারে বলো তো? Secondary, what is the name of this? What could be the name
Sir,
of this?
methyl ethanol.
Methyl ethanol.
We have, yeah,
Sir, propane fuel.
yeah, exactly. The naming আবার ভুলে গেছো, propan-2-ol, longest chain. So locant, this is the substitution, right? This is the functional group. So it's substituted on which carbon? The second carbon. So your longest chain is 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. Either way, it's the same thing. So it's propan-2-ol. So this is a secondary alcohol. And tertiary alcohol, what will be the name of this?
Sir, is the top one a CH3?
Sorry?
Sir, is the top part a CH3?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, this is a CH3.
2-methyl.
2-methyl propan-2-ol.
2-methyl propan
2-ol.
So if you have a carbon to which the OH is linked, and if you have 3 R groups, so it's 2-methyl propan-2-ol. Sorry, it's a tertiary alcohol. If you have a carbon which is linked to 2 R groups and 1 hydrogen, secondary alcohol. If you have 1 R group and 2 hydrogen, it's a primary alcohol. Simple. মানে তোমরা এতদিন যা পড়েছো is same. Nothing has changed. So আজকে আমরা will just go through what are the reactions alcohols go through. So alcohol কিন্তু it's like the center point of our flow chart. ঠিক আছে? It's the center point of our flow chart. So so physical properties, we know all about the physical properties. So since it's an alcohol, melting and boiling point would be
High.
very high.
Very high compared to other hydrocarbons.
Why?
Hydrogen bomb.
Because they contain hydrogen bonds between them.
They form hydrogen bonds.
And then
very good.
they
form hydrogen bonds. Very good. Yeah, they form hydrogen bonds. Okay, so I'll not go into the physical properties. Let's go directly into the chemical properties. So let's take alcohol at the center. So alcohol can get oxidized to aldehyde. It's a key alcohol, primary. Aldehyde can further get oxidized to carboxylic acid. And if it's a secondary alcohol, then it gets oxidized to what?
ketones.
It gets oxidized to ketone. Achha. And then alcohol can form halogenoalkane. How?
Elimination reaction.
Elimination.
Yeah, hydrogen halide. Very good. Hydrogen halide. But how do you form this hydrogen halide?
By substituting reaction.
এটা আমি তোমাদেরকে পড়াই নাই. It is part of chapter 13. But এখানে first, for example, if we are substituting a chloride, তাহলে তোমরা কি নিবা? You'll take a sodium chloride with sulfuric acid. Mechanisms আমি পরে পড়াবো. Sodium chloride plus sulfuric acid, it forms HCl. HCl then reacts with an alcohol to give you an halogenoalkane. Acha. Alcohol can dehydrate to form alkene. Dehydrate to form alkene. How do this do so? By using of concentrated sulfuric acid. Or
Aluminium oxide.
aluminium oxide is also correct. Acha. Alcohol can also react with sodium or sodium carbonate, both, to give us alkoxide. So আমাদের আবার আচ্ছা, and then alcohol and carboxylic acid together can form what?
Esters.
Esters.
Esters. Okay. Alcohol, if you combust it with oxygen, what would you get?
Carbon dioxide and
Carbon
water.
So তোমাকে যদি if they ask you how can alcohols be formed, তখন কি করবা? Just the opposite. Alcohol যেমন aldehyde form করতে পারে, alcohol যেমন ketone form করতে পারে, ketone can get reduced to form alcohol. Aldehyde can be reduced to form alcohol. Alcohol যেভাবে হ্যালোজেনো অ্যালকিন ফর্ম করে, আমরা লাস্ট ক্লাসে পড়েছিলাম না যে হ্যালোজেনো অ্যালকিন ক্যান ফর্ম অ্যালকোহল, right? Do you remember?
Yes.
How? What reagent do we use?
Sodium hydroxide.
Sodium hydroxide. What type of
Sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide?
What type? What is the solvent?
Yeah, ethanol.
Aqueous.
Ethanol.
Aqueous.
তাহলে ethanol কোনটার জন্য ছিল?
Dehydration. Halogen alkene থেকে, if you want to form an alkene, you use sodium hydroxide, which is ethanolic. So তোমাদের আজকে actually flowchartটা দেওয়াই যায়. So alkene can also form alcohol by use of what?
Water.
Steam. Acha. Alkene can form alkane. How?
Addition reaction.
Hydrogenation.
Hydrogenation. Exactly. Hydrogenation. Platinum catalyst 140 degrees centigrade. Blah 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 blah. Okay. So আমরা usually we don't use the carbon dioxide flow because আমরা জানি যে anything which you burn in oxygen will give you carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so now alkene can also form halogenoalkane. What do you use?
Hydrogen halide.
Hydrogen halide or just halogen. So if we are using hydrogen halide, what is the rule? What is the name of that rule?
Markovnikov rule.
কোনোদিনও ভুলবা না আর। Hopefully কোনোদিন বললে ভুল হবে, if you're out of touch you'll forget, but at least you'll not forget the name. Okay, আর alcohol, primary alcohol can get oxidized to aldehyde. Acha, alkane can also be converted to halogenoalkane. How?
Just given a substitution.
Halogenation.
Substitution.
Substitution with?
Halogen
Substitution
under
with?
UV.
With a halogen under UV light. Very good.
Free
আচ্ছা,
radical substitution.
আমাদের শুধু অ্যালডিহাইড আর কিটোনের রিঅ্যাকশনস গুলো আমি তোমাদেরকে এখন আই ডোন্ট ওয়ান্ট টু কমপ্লিকেট স্টাফ, লেটস জাস্ট কনসেন্ট্রেট অন অ্যালকোহল। অ্যালকোহলের আমাদের রিঅ্যাকশনস আর ডান, ঠিক আছে? সো অ্যালকোহলস আর ডান। So alcohol can get oxidized to aldehyde, aldehyde can get oxidized to carboxylic acid. Okay?
Sir, could you repeat alcohol ketone কেমনে হয় জানি?
Secondary alcohol. Primary alcohol will oxidize. Primary alcohol will get oxidized to aldehyde. Aldehyde will get oxidized to carboxylic acid. Our secondary alcohol will get oxidized to ketone, and secondary alcohol ketone cannot be further oxidized.
Sir, alcohol reacting with PCl5 এটা বুঝি নাই।
Oh. So there are two ways you can convert alcohol to halogenoalkane. Either you can make a hydrogen halide, or you can use PCl5 for if you want to substitute Cl, or you can use PBr3 if you want to use, if you're substituting a bromine, and you can use or you can use Pi3 if you want to substitute iodine. That's it. না বোঝার কিছু নাই. It's just a substitution reaction. So either you can use NaCl with sulfuric acid to first make HCl, or if you want to make HBr, then you have to substitute NaCl by NaBr, or if you want to make HI, then you have to take NaI plus sulfuric acid to give us HI. Whatever the case is, it will depend on what type of halogen are you trying to substitute. Or এত ঝামেলা তোমার যদি মনে হয় যে না, that is too much of a hassle, you can just write, if you want to substitute a chlorine, you can use PCl5. If you want to substitute a bromine, you can use PBr3. If you want to substitute a iodine, you can use Pi3. So let's now go step by step. I'll be erasing this part. So number one, alcohol most important reaction is alcohol to halogenoalkane. আচ্ছা, এইটা mechanism কি হতে পারে? What type of mechanism will this be? Substitution.
Electrophilic substitution.
Substitution. Okay, so this is okay. Substitution reaction. What type of substitution? Iram. What type of substitution?
Sorry, what?
What type of substitution?
Nucleophilic?
Very good.
Nucleophilic, yeah.
এখন, if it's a primary alcohol who is being substituted to halogenoalkane, mechanism কি হবে? Malisa? If it's a
Sorry,
primary,
what, sir?
if it's a primary alcohol which is turning into a halogenoalkane, what would be the mechanism? So do you remember the types of nucleophilic substitution mechanisms?
Sir, S1.
Is that an answer or is that the question?
Answer.
No. Primary halogenoalkene undergoes what type of mechanism? Primary halogenoalkenes?
SN2.
SN2.
The primary alcohol will also undergo SN2 mechanism. Secondary alcohol?
SN2 or SN1.
SN2 or SN1. But SN1 in most cases. And if it's tertiary?
SN1.
Shabash. SN1 mechanism.
Sir, secondary জিনিসটা একটু বুঝাতে পারবেন?
Secondary কি বুঝাবো?
মানে SN2, SN1, why is it variable but not?
Oh, that's because of its stability. A steric hindrance. That's going to be too much depth. দরকার নেই.
Alright.
বুঝছো? That's going to be too much depth.
Alright.
I can teach you, but most of them will be very কি বলবো, upset. So there's no point. So এখানে দেখো, since there's two R groups, it depends. Due to steric hindrance, the OH can go. First, the OH can break out and form an intermediate, and then the Cl can come and attack. That's SN1, or SN2 can also happen, but under certain conditions. So এটা দরকার নেই তোমাদের। তোমাদের হ্যালোজেনো অ্যালকেনও তোমাদের দেখবা যে সেকেন্ডারি কোনোদিনও আসে না, because it's not within the aim of the syllabus or whatever you call that. বুঝছো? So alcohol to halogenoalkane, তোমাদের কি কোনো do you have any questions regarding this? Alcohol to carboxylic acid. আচ্ছা, এটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি কার্বক্সিলিক অ্যাসিড লিখলে একটা ভুল হবে। Let's write this as oxidation of alcohol. Oxidation of alcohol. So primary alcohol gets oxidized to aldehyde. Aldehyde gets oxidized to carboxylic acid. একটা এক্সাম্পল আমরা নেই, butanol. So CH3, CH2, CH2, OH. আচ্ছা, একটা কার্বন শর্ট. So this is butanol. Butanol will get oxidized to what? So this is butan-1-ol. So what type of alcohol is butan-1-ol?
Primary.
Primary. Very good. It's primary. How do we know it's primary?
One R group attached to it.
One R group. This, the whole thing is R group and with two hydrogens. Okay, very good. So this can get oxidized to butanol. Butanol. This is butanol. Butanol. Butanol can then get oxidized to
Carboxylic acid.
butanoic acid. CH3, CH2, CH2, C double bond O, OH, which is known as butanoic acid. So under oxidation of alcohols, let's now start with secondary alcohol. Secondary alcohol. CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, OH.
Sir, is this still under
This is a
oxidation
secondary
of
alcohol. Second, this is butan-2-ol. This gets oxidized to butanone. Butanone. So a secondary alcohol can get oxidized to a ketone. Ketone cannot be further oxidized. So further oxidation not possible. Further oxidation not possible.
Sir, this is under oxidation of alcohol, right?
Yeah. Oh, acha, তোমাদেরকে তো oxidizing, so তোমরা already জানো. What are the oxidizing agents?
KMNO4.
Or
Aluminum oxide.
Calcium dichromate.
Dichromate.
so তোমাদেরকে আমি একটা জিনিস বলতে ভুলে গিয়েছি, সেটা হলো যে when primary alcohol মানে butan-1-ol gets oxidized to butanol, we use K2Cr2O7 heat, এটা লিখে রাখো, heat and distill off. You cannot heat under reflux. You have to heat and distill off, because aldehyde is a very unstable compound. So if you keep on heating him, it's going to get completely converted into carboxylic acid, which we don't want, right? We need to get an intermediate, which is aldehyde. So if you want a carboxylic acid from an alcohol, you'll heat under reflux. And if you want an aldehyde, you'll heat and distill off. But there's no such problem with secondary alcohol, because secondary alcohol, there's just one product, which is a ketone. So here you can use an oxidizing agent, for example, K2Cr2O7 or KMNO4, heat under reflux. আচ্ছা, তোমাদের সবারই flow diagram মোটামুটি লেখা হয়েছে না? So I'll just get rid of the whole thing. বারবার মুছতে হবে না.
So,
Yeah.
so what is the K2Cr2O7 used in?
Used in, this is an oxidizing agent.
So I forgot the reaction. Which reaction was it?
K2Cr2O7 plus alcohol will cause it to turn into CrO3 minus. No, it turns into +3. So it's not this. Turns into 3 plus acid or aldehyde. So here K2Cr2O7 was +6. Now it has become +3. So itself has become reduced. So it is acting as an oxidizing agent.
So it forms an aldehyde?
If you just heat and distill off, then it's aldehyde. If you heat under reflux, then it's going to form an acid.
Oh. Thank you, sir.
Okay, next is tertiary alcohols. Tertiary alcohol. What happens if we oxidize tertiary alcohol?
Oxidize.
You cannot oxidize tertiary alcohol. You cannot oxidize tertiary alcohol. Okay. Number 3, dehydration. Dehydration of alcohol. So CH3, CH2, CH3. There's a OH here, there's a H here, H, 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 H. Turns into, so this H and OH goes away. Actually, it does not go away like this, but just তোমাদেরকে এখন বোঝানোর জন্য. So there are 3 ways you can do it. You can use a concentrated sulfuric acid. Reagents used. Or you can use concentrated phosphoric acid. Or you can use aluminium oxide at 350 degrees centigrade. It turns into an alkene. What is the name of this? Are you done?
Sir, water is also formed, right?
Yeah, water is also good. Water is also formed. But I'm repeating. This is not what happens. এটা তোমাদের বোঝানোর জন্য যে water goes away, এই জন্য I'm writing this. But this is not the way it works.
So,
Dehydration.
sir, then shouldn't we know about it now?
Organic এত easy না. You have to learn step by step. একবারে সব পড়ে দিলে you won't remember anything. আচ্ছা. Reaction with a metal or metal carbon.
Sir, is this under dehydration of alcohol?
No, this is another one. So now it's at 4 or 5.
5.
4.
4.
Sorry, never mind. 4.
Ethanol plus sodium will give us sodium ethoxide. So this would actually depend on the number of carbon chain. So it is the 3 carbon hoto, this would be propoxide. If it was 4 carbon, then it would be butoxide. Okay. So this would actually depend on the number of carbon atoms in the longest chain plus hydrogen. So this is with a metal. Carboxylic acid would react with both a metal and a metal carbonate, but alcohol will just react with the metal. And lastly, number 5, esterification. Esterification. So first, let's draw a carboxylic acid, CH3, CH2, C double bond OH, plus we draw an alcohol, CH3, CH2, OH. So এখান থেকে H যাবে, এখান থেকে OH যাবে, and then we get a product, a CH3, a CH2, a C double bond
O, CH2, CH3. This is the ester linkage. Ester linkage.
Sir, we put the name of the acid first, right?
Alcohol. So etar naam hobe, when you draw it, you first draw the acid and then the alcohol. But when you name it, first you name the alcohol, which is ethyl
Propanoid.
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 Sorry.
Ethyl propanoid. When you draw it, first draw the carboxylic acid and then the alcohol. But when you name it, first you have to name the alcohol and then the carboxylic acid.
Sir, I had a question.
Yeah.
যদি একটা কার্বনের উপরে CH2OH থাকে, what would be the name of this whole molecule?
Okay, I didn't get your question, but if are you talking about this carbon or this carbon? Which one?
Any carbon.
If there's a CH2OH.
No, on the ester.
On the ester, if you have a CH2OH like this.
Yep.
Like this.
Yep.
Okay. So this CH2 is now part of the acid, right? So first of all, we have to start from here. So what would be the name of this acid now? It's going to be, longest chain has 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So it should be CH2 যদি হয় তাহলে it's gonna be methyl 2 hydroxy methyl propanoic acid. So এটার নাম হবে ethyl hydroxy methyl propanoid. So your name would change according to your acid's name.
Okay.
Done, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is all
Yes,
about
sir.
this is all about alcohol, and then let's go to carboxylic
Wasn't
acid.
done.
Let's go to carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid, actually there's not much to study, because carboxylic acid তোমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করবে যে how is carboxylic acid formed. We know that it primary alcohol gets oxidized to aldehyde, aldehyde gets oxidized to carboxylic acid. And what are the reactions of carboxylic acid? Carboxylic acid reacts with oxygen to give us carbon dioxide and water. Oxidation with O2 gives carbon dioxide and water. Actually, oxidation, not combustion with O2. Combustion with O2. And then with alcohol, what does carboxylic acid give? With alcohol, what does it
Ester.
give? It gives us ester. Yeah.
Sir, this is under esterification, right?
Yeah, this is esterification, and this is actually under carboxylic acid. With alcohol in the presence of acid, and then this reduction, yeah, that's it. And third, with PCl5. এটা তোমাদের মাঝে মাঝে চলে আসে So let's study this time. So carboxylic acid can react with PCl5 to give us acyl chloride. Acyl chloride. So basically, কিছুই না. It's CH3, CH2, C double bond O, OH reacts with PCl5. You know what's going to happen. The OH is going to go away and it then converts to CH3, CH2, C double bond OCl. And you might ask, why do we do this? To make it more reactive. Carboxylic acid by nature is not very reactive. Acyl chlorides are much more reactive than carboxylic acid. So in order, so এটা যেমন একটা alcohol. This is, we studied alcohol, right? And এই একই জিনিস, if you had a benzene ring, that we call it a phenol. Okay, so মানে you don't need it for AS, but the reason I'm teaching is যে alcohol would react with carboxylic acid, but phenol does not react with carboxylic acid. So ejono, to make phenol react with carboxylic acid, first we convert carboxylic acid into an acyl chloride, and then we can react it with an phenol. Phenol reacts with an acyl chloride, but not a carboxylic acid. So if you need to make a carboxylic acid more reactive, you can convert it into an acyl chloride.
One thing is carboxylic acid number 6.
Carboxylic acid is a new topic. Before this we were studying alcohol. Now we are studying carboxylic acid. Our number 4 is reduction of carboxylic acid. Reduction of carboxylic acid. So you tell me, if you remember the flow chart, carboxylic acid can go down to form what?
Aldehyde.
Aldehyde can then further go down to form
Alcohol.
so reduction of alcohol to form reduction of carboxylic acid to form alcohol.
স্যার,
বলো।
আবার কিটোনসও কি অ্যালকোহল ফর্ম করতে পারবে?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ,
আচ্ছা।
but oigula will study in the chapter aldehydes and ketones. Okay, so alcohol to, if you want to convert alcohol to carboxylic acid, what type of reagent do we use? Oxidizing agent, right? So if you're trying to reduce carboxylic acid to alcohol, what type of reagent would we use? We use reducing agent. Now what are the examples of reducing agent? LiLH4, NaBH4, hydrogen plus nickel catalyst. These are the 3 reducing agents.
So first একটা কি?
First একটা কি? Li lithium aluminum hydride.
স্যার শেষেরটা কি লিখেছেন? H2 স্যার Sir, what was the third reducing agent?
Hydrogen plus nickel catalyst.
That's it for today.
So what was the second one?
Sodium borohydride, NaBH4.
Wait, serious, Shruti.
Yeah.
Sir, what's the first one?
LiAlH4, lithium aluminium hydride.
Sir, the second one.
NaBH4.
Sir, the third one.
Hydrogen H2 plus nickel catalyst, Ni.
Allah Hafiz, sir.
Allah Hafiz. Oh, so guys, next class hai tumra you study aldehydes and ketones. Okay?
Allah Hafiz, sir.
Allah Hafiz. Bye bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye bye.